Hey, welcome to 3Con Commentaries. This is your boy Mongo Slade. Let's talk about the Hurt Business from Raw, February 1st, 2021. The Hurt Business got several segments on Raw. Well, they got two matches. Not really, promos or anything like that, but these were very significant in a way. So Riddle got his United States Championship match against Bobby Lashley. And Lashley was still quite fuming after, all the things that Riddle had done to him. They got into a fight in the Royal Rumble, of course, because Riddle was boxing everybody up in the Royal Rumble. He was just beating the hell out of everybody. I mean, guy's incredible. He's very good. And Lashley was one of the guys that he helped to eliminate. Like four guys got together, dumped Lashley over the top rope, screwed him out of the Royal Rumble. And so Lashley was in a very, very, very bad mood. And bad mood Lashley does not bode well for Riddle. So I loved the match was short. I don't like that they started the show with a disqualification, but they got out of this very quickly. They weren't going to switch the titles. They didn't waste 15 minutes of our lives to give us a disqualification. The match was fast, and it made sense. Riddle was frustrating Lashley again with his offense. Lashley tried to use a spin kick in this match, and Riddle ducked it. I was like, what in the hell? A spin kick? And what I really liked, I like that Riddle used like a triangle choke to get Lashley over the top rope. Like Lashley threw a punch or a clothesline or something, and Riddle countered it with a triangle choke, and it's kind of like a hurricanrana over the top rope. I thought that was pretty sweet. And then he did a springboard floating bro to knock Lashley down, and Lashley was, of course, furious at this point. Lashley ended up getting Riddle into the hurt lock while he was in the ropes. He refused to let it go, and because he didn't let it go, of course, he got disqualified. And now we get MVP, and he's yelling at Lashley too, as as he is killing Matt Riddle. MVP is telling him, like, you want to go to jail? You want to go to jail? Stop, man. That's enough. That's enough. And Lashley just went hard, just kept swinging Riddle around, and eventually he ended up throwing him over the barricade. Just tossed him like trash over the barricade. And this was great. Yes, it doesn't make sense that we're going to have Lashley not just win the match, but they're really kind of telling this story here that Riddle he's very good, and he's kind of an idiot savant a little bit, where he says stupid things, he does stupid things, but when you put him in a combat situation, he's really good, and that Lashley has trouble with him, and that Lashley is bothered by Riddle, and because of that, Lashley wants to just hurt him. And also, of course, it adds to the story that Riddle helped eliminate Lashley after WrestleMania. After Royal Rumble. So we get, after the commercial break, we get Riddle laid out on the ground, and he's like, what happened? And they was like, oh, are you okay? Are you all right? Are you all right? Are you alive? Are you breathing? How is your breathing? Are you breathing? And Riddle had a little bit of a shiner. Not much. It wasn't like a big swollen eye, but kind of like a little black spot there. And he wanted to know what happened. And he was like, they were like, you got beat up. It's like, who was I wrestling? And they were like, Bobby Lashley. And he tried to get up, like he wanted a piece of Lashley. And they were like, no, relax. Settle down. Of course, that was for the best, because he would have gotten killed. But I'm good with this. This was nice. I would have preferred maybe Lashley would have attacked him before the match got started, and they did that rather than what they actually did. But I think they've done that so much of Lashley jumping guys before the match starts and jumping guys after the match starts. And this kind of fits the story that they were telling, that Lashley came into this match very focused, very serious, and that he really wanted to put the hurt on Riddle, but Riddle was too slippery. He kept getting away from him. He was too dynamic. He was doing too many flips, and his technique was too good. So Lashley had to resort to brute force and cheating, which is good. So now we're going to have some kind of match. And I think on Twitter, they may even tease that Matt Riddle kind of wants to get Lashley in the fight pit. So maybe if WWE was, if this was 1998 or 1999 or something like that, I would no doubt believe that they probably would do something like that. That they probably would have a Riddle Lashley fight pit match, for a B pay-per-view. That would be fucking awesome. But this is WWE in 2021 where the mid card doesn't get anything. The mid card don't get steel cage matches and, last man standing matches and stuff like that anymore. A ladder match is probably the best you can get for a mid card title. When was the last time they had a mid card championship match that was that was something other than a ladder match? That was like an I Quit match for a U.S. title or something. I'm pretty sure I got one of my Google geniuses, one of my Google ninjas in the comment section below probably knows. But I can't think of it. Usually when there's like a U.S. title or an IC title or something on the line, it's like ladder match or a fatal four-way. But very rarely is there like a I Quit match for the Intercontinental title or, because this seems like the right time for it. Like these two guys have been beefing for a long time. There needs to be some finality to this thing. It needs to be like a no disqualification, no holds barred, something or other for this major title so that Riddle can win it and Lashley can move on to something else. But I don't believe that they're actually willing to do that. I don't believe they're actually willing to put the effort in by doing some type of fight pit, steel cage type of thing for the United States title. And it's really unfortunate. So the Hurt Business wasn't done for the evening, of course, because the Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin defended the tag team championships against Grand Metalik and Lince Dorado Lucha House Party. And this match was good. Whenever they just let Lucha House Party go and do them, Lucha House Party always impresses. I fucking hate the name, though. The name is shit. But these guys are good, especially Grand Metalik. He's really fucking good. So MVP is on commentary during this match, and he's, filling in some of the gaps of the story. And he's talking about, he's been working with Lashley to unleash Lashley, to unleash the Lashley. Go full Lashley on these guys. But he said he didn't expect what Lashley was going to do to Matt Riddle. He wasn't looking forward to that. And he said while he was impressed and while he liked it, he just didn't want Lashley to go to jail. He's like, I don't want him to go to jail. So when he talked about Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, he said basically brothers fight. That's all this is. It's just, brothers getting into it, brothers arguing. So we find out that Lucha House Party beat the Hurt Business 2 or 3 weeks ago, and that's why they get this title shot. Okay, cool. I forgot, but they remembered, so that's their job, and that's fine. Of course, MVP says that they never got beat by the Lucha House Party. That Hurt Business complaining and getting into it with each other is what cost the Hurt Business their match. Okay, cool. So there was some really great exchanges, especially between Metalik and Cedric Alexander. I really if there was some way we can get those two guys to wrestle one-on-one and we can get them 10 minutes maybe, that would be good. That would be really good shit. But this match was very good. I think this match was at least 10 minutes, I believe. So Grand Metalik and Lince Dorado did this really cool situation where I think it was a moonsault from Lince Dorado, then followed by flying senton by Grand Metalik. It was gorgeous. And Shelton Benjamin ended up breaking up the pin. Later on, Cedric Alexander was, kind of pissed at Grand Metalik. He was ready to cut loose. He was ready to, and Shelton tagged himself in, hit pay dirt, and won. Okay, which is, the Hurt Business won. But Cedric Alexander was very unhappy. His body language spoke to how upset he was at being tagged out without his permission. I am kind of sick of, guys being mad about winning, but it makes sense in this situation that we're kind of getting Cedric Alexander as kind of a glory hog, like he's obsessed with winning to the point of breaking up the group, breaking up the team, he's obsessed with himself winning. He's becoming sort of self-absorbed, and this is like one of the first times that Shelton actually tagged himself in, and things made sense, and he actually won. So I like that. And then MVP had to talk to him, like, "Hey, okay, focus. I need you to focus." And Cedric Alexander's like body language is kind of like, all right, whatever. And then they kind of dapped, but it was kind of weak on Cedric Alexander's behalf. And I said this before. They're doing this because they don't have anybody else. Like, there's no other teams, right? So because there are no other teams, you kind of have the Hurt Business arguing and fighting amongst themselves. You wouldn't have so much dissension in the ranks storytelling, quote unquote, if there was heat coming from the other side, right? Now, on Twitter, I saw something that was very interesting. Ricochet wanted to team up with Jeff Hardy to wrestle the Hurt Business. Also, Matt Riddle wanted to wrestle the Hurt Business with Jeff Hardy. Instead, they put Jeff Hardy with Carlito. Like, oh, whatever. You know, whatever. They won't let Jeff Hardy get away from Elias. That's why you have this situation. Like, they're teasing dissension in the ranks. I called it a crisis of conflict, where you don't have any outside tension, so you have inside tension. You know, it's kind of like that with countries, right? Like, if you're not having foreign wars, you're not fighting aliens or something like that. You know, you're fighting each other. You're a civil war. And that's really what's going on here with the Hurt Business. Is they have been so dominant in beating up everybody else, and then there's nobody else down the pike, that now the writers are kind of like, okay, well, they should just argue amongst themselves. And it's like, and that's their way of trying to maintain some type of heat. But unless they're going to turn somebody babyface for a reason that needs to be explained, that makes no sense. There's no end to that. They need to just buckle down and build some fucking tag teams. I mean, just build your tag team division. I mean, you have 100 fucking guys on the roster. You know, I mean, you literally got a bunch of guys that work main event every fucking week. You mean to tell me you can't put two of them together and have them be a tag team? Like what Ricochet was talking about with Jeff Hardy. That's one team. You know, if he was just to do what I just said. You have Elias and Jackson Riker. That's another team. Then you also have, you know, why not Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza? As far as last I checked, they were both baby faces, weren't they? Isn't Angel Garza a baby face? So, like, why can't they be a team? They're cousins anyway. Why can't they be a team? You know, like, you could build a tag team division. Like, I feel like I've been yelling about the tag team division, well, 3 or 4 years, but I've only been on YouTube a year. So, it's been forever about, you know, this tag team stuff. But when you don't have any threats on the outside, it's natural for people to start just building threats on the inside. Of course, the team's going to fall apart if there is nobody for them to wrestle. They might as well fight each other. Why not? You know, but I like the Hurt Business tonight. I like what they did. We're kind of still got this the slow burn on this Cedric Alexander thing. It's still not much of a question of whether they're going to kick him out or whether they're going to kick Shelton Benjamin out. I like that MVP seems to be focused on Cedric, on, you know, Cedric getting his shit together, and not on, you know, Shelton having to do anything, because, you know, Shelton is like his peer, which Cedric is like the young boy. So they kind of like, okay, you need to fall in line and do you. But I think it's coming, you know, especially when they get ready to lose the tag team titles. It's coming. You know, they're going to end up breaking up. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, use the hashtag 3Count Commentaries to support 3Count Commentaries and to bring more attention to the channel. When you talk to other people, you know, I would really appreciate that. Thank you guys, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah.